Hello YouTube, this is an Aces preview, and today I'll be discussing some of the lesser known games that you guys should check out. Now I decided to show lesser known games because I want to show support the small guys instead of forcing them out of the picture with AAA titles. That said, all of these games are actually games I'm interested in myself, so hopefully they don't turn out to be utter crap. First up is a French indie title called The Trench 1916, which is set in World War I, more specifically during the Battle of Verdun. Now as you can see, this is a first-person shooter, but it also plans to have some interesting and unique features. Firstly, it has both roleplay and RTS elements, by starting the game 3 days before the battle, so you can move troops to specific areas, fortify key positions, and even set up artillery support for the coming battle. This is done to add replayability to the game. Also, the game will feature stealth elements as well. And considering that trench raids in the middle of the night were common in World War I can definitely see where they are going with this. And I will say it should add some interesting flavor to the game. Now the graphics may not appear to be up to much, but A, this is a budget indie game, and B, the footage is of a pre-alpha version, about a year or so old. So don't judge too harshly on that. Now multiplayer itself will not be a feature in the original release, which by the way is expected to be possible in the fall of this year, but they are thinking of adding it later, so you should still check it out. After The Trench 1916, we have two new Mountain Blade-esque games coming to PC, War of the Roses and Caribbean. Now a fellow and more famous reviewer on YouTube, known as Angry Joe, has already shown what War of the Roses is all about, so I've decided not to go into it much myself. I did, however, provide links in the description below to his previews, so if you want to know more, click on them. Also, if you do go there, please sure to let them know that I sent you, okay? As for Caribbean, this game is a pirate-themed roleplay game using the Mountain Blade engine and developed by the same guys who did Fire and Sword. Some people might be cautious about this since, at best, Fire and Sword is an acquired taste. I myself acquired it, but many people did not. However, the promise of ship battles, boarding actions, and customized ships and crew is something to get excited about, and even a new hope for a good pirate game. Especially ever since the latest Pirates of the Caribbean game was cancelled and Risen 2 was only an average game at best. My next preview game takes me back to the FPS genre with Arma III. Some of you may have seen my first review in Arma II, in which I recommended it as a genre-defying masterpiece. So when Arma 3 was announced with an improved interface, tooltips for ordering fire support, and underwater combat, people should see it coming that I was interested. Basically, this is the most anticipated holiday game for me at the moment. Up to this point, I will admit that strategy game fans might be a little disappointed with me so far by my preview of games, but this should hopefully end with my news of the latest expansion pack for Hearts of Iron III, known as their Finest Hour. I will admit Hearts of Iron 3 was not exactly running smoothly when it was first released, so I understand when people are hesitant to be enthusiastic about a new expansion pack. But when they plan on improving the espionage system, introducing nation-specific troops such as the US Rangers or the Gurkhas, allowing players to make specialized landing crafts to give certain benefits to amphibious invasions, this is something to look forward to, especially since they've also added roleplay elements such as the fact that leaders can now gain traits that they keep throughout the game, or that players are now allowed to customize the nations that they start as, in terms of diplomatically, technologically, or militarily speaking. I am more pumped for this expansion pack than either of the last two, or the two mini-packs that focused on the US and Germany. Moving on from Hearts of Iron 3, I would like to also mention its new cousin, also made by Paradox, Europa Universalis IV. While I could say enough said for my fellow Europa veterans, I will indulge newcomers to the series and genre with a bit on the prequel and why you should be excited, Europa Universalis III being the prequel. In EU3, as many folks call it, you can play as any nation that existed, or could have existed, from the years of 1399 to 1820, and even go to the extent of picking the exact day and month you want to start on. Your goals? They're whatever you want them to be. You want to play as the Aztecs and drive back to Spanish? You can do that. You want to form a mighty African empire? You can do that. You want to unify the Germanic states into a single German nation? You can do that. I played as the Cherokee and formed a mighty empire that held parts of North America, Europe, and Africa. The possibilities are endless, so this is definitely a title to get excited about. In fact, the prequel is arguably better than any of the Civilization games so far made, which along with the Total War series are the only grand strategy games not being made by Paradox. With all these different games coming out, I think it is safe to say that you guys have a decent selection to pick from this year. Now I have the links to the different games in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to get more updates and videos. Hope to see you guys soon. Ace out.